Conversations with your loved one while they are in a program will likely be different from how they were while they were in active alcohol or drug addiction, which tends to bring out the worst in the person who is using. If it was a struggle getting them to admit they have a problem, there could have been a lot of arguments and yelling, verbal and physical abuse, avoidance, indifference, forms of manipulation, and distrust leading to their treatment admission. The way they act towards you now that they are in a program can be rather unpredictable, and it may not be much better than before, at least not right away. If you decide to communicate with them, it is best to go into it with as much knowledge and preparedness as possible. When drugs and alcohol are first removed from the body, an initial detox period is often the first step. This can be uncomfortable and unpleasant both physically and emotionally, but it is aided with certain medications many facilities provide. During this time, a person will feel so terribly that they are easily agitated and have pretty strong cravings to leave treatment and use. Their substance use was a source of comfort for so long, so it makes sense for them to divert back into it despite having brought them to treatment in the first place. They may also look for someone besides themselves to blame, which is something that is more fully addressed in the therapeutic part of the recovery process. With that said, know that it's not uncommon for the person in treatment to be less than forthcoming should you attempt to communicate with them. If they agree to speak with you and the facility permits it, there are some ways that they may act due to the withdrawal process and other mitigating circumstances surrounding their particular situation. This can also occur after the initial detox while they are undergoing any therapeutic treatment, such as group therapy in the 12 steps. Granite Recovery Centers provides medical detoxification for people who do not need immediate medical intervention, are not a danger to themselves, and are capable of self-evacuation in the event of emergencies. Some of the feelings that they may be experiencing can include blame. They may blame you for being in a program if they don't want to be, or may tell you it's their fault they use substances. Blaming you for their problems is a way of pushing responsibility away from themselves and denying their part in it. This may cause you to feel guilty and question yourself about whether they have a problem. Anger and hostility. If they are feeling particularly mad about being in treatment, they may not speak to you at all. If they do and are hostile, it is best to cease communication for some more time while they are getting help from treatment professionals. Bargaining. Promising to stop using if you allow them to come home or come pick them up is difficult to hear, but you must not give in. Try to remember how bad the situation was before and know that it is likely to go back to it if you allow it. Guilt. This is often done to parents or spouses, but can occur within other relationships too. They may make you feel guilty for their situation. Holding a grudge. Not speaking with you or loved ones or withholding love and kind words, often in instances of romantic relationships or parent and child relationships, as a form of punishment. Regret, shame. Your loved one may feel bad about the past and profusely apologize for being there, which can be seen as a positive thing as they are assuming responsibility for their situation. Depression. Once drugs and alcohol are removed, emotions and reality begin to set in and can be a lot to take. This can often make people reflect on their choices and the consequences their use has led to, leading to feeling down and sad. While you should be prepared for the above responses, you also have the freedom to choose how to react. It is important to be supportive and receptive to your loved one's feelings at this time, but you don't have to put up with cursing or unfair blame. If the conversation does not seem to improve, it's okay to cease communication if it is becoming unhealthy and troublesome for you. You can utilize the counselor to advise you on how to speak to your loved one and how your loved one is doing, and they may be able to suggest a time to speak further down the line that will result in a more constructive discussion. The goal of recovery is to find peace within oneself, and this often manifests as acceptance and eventually gratitude. Should a loved one be hurtful or angry during your first few conversations, know that it is likely that they will see things in a new light as they move forward in their recovery. Just as it was important while they were under the influence of drugs and/or alcohol to know that it wasn't truly them talking and acting, they may take some time to build up a new and better person in sobriety. It may also take some time to build up trust between you, as it was likely precarious before treatment. Many parents of children with substance use disorder say they are finally able to get a good night's sleep when their child is in rehab. This welcomed sentiment is often a long time coming, especially if the addiction took them to homelessness or hard drugs with high fatality rates such as heroin. This feeling is not limited to parents, however, and tends to be universal among family and friends who just want the best for their loved ones. The feelings you experience can be as much of a whirlwind as that which your loved one is undergoing during treatment. Many unhealthy behaviors stem from substance use, and they often affect everyone around the situation. Trust must be rebuilt, and there will likely be a lot of hesitation and lingering hurt due to actions and consequences of the person with the addiction. It can be an arduous process, but it is possible.
If you or a loved one you know is suffering from addiction, please call Granite Recovery Centers today at 1-866-613-5980 or visit us online at www.graniterecoverycenters.com today.